Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. If you are planning for an MBA from abroad, this is going to be a very important video. We are going to talk about two things in this video. Number one, why you should actually conduct research about the schools which you are planning to apply. And number two, how are you going to actually do this research? I'll walk you through specific ways in which you are going to do this research, and also what are some of the questions that you should be asking these people, or the different kinds of research criteria that you are going to target. So let us get started right away with the video. And before we get started, one quick request. If you can like this video, share it with your friends, whoever is planning to go for an MBA abroad. It would be super helpful and I would really appreciate it. It would motivate me to make more these kind of videos. Okay, so with that, let's jump into the topic for today, why you should actually do research. Let's think about the entire proposition of doing MBA from abroad. The first and the most important thing that comes to your mind is, hey, there is a lot of money at stake, correct? You are going to invest a lot of money and you need to have a real clarity about a lot of things that you are planning to do, correct? Now, when you think about money, there are two components. What are your positive revenues? And number two, what are your costs that you are going to incur? When you talk about revenues, it implies that, hey, what is the job that you are going to do after your MBA, right? Even before all of this research, let me put it out there. You need to have some clarity around what is it that one job that you want to do. Do you want to get into product management? Do you want to get into consulting? Do you want to get into marketing and sales, investment banking, so on and so forth, right? Now, that's the best case scenario. If that does not happen, what is your plan B? If consulting doesn't happen, do you want to go into product management? If product management doesn't happen, what is your plan C? So you need to have this at a very high level. I'm not going and saying that, hey, start thinking about what you need to put on paper in your essays. No, I'm just saying that, hey, at a very high level, you need to know I want to get here, and that is possible through my MBA degree, correct? Once you have that clarity, then you start researching about various schools, and you can be very targeted with your questions, with what information you want to collect through these different sources. So let us start with our first way of doing research, that is going onto the website itself. Now, if you go to the website of Chicago Booth and you look for application essays, these are some of the essays that you will see. How will Booth MBA help you achieve your immediate and long-term post-MBA career goals? Now, that's a very interesting question. If you go to Wharton Business School's website, you will again find out that there are updates to the 2021-2022 application, and the essay is that, hey, how do you plan to use the Wharton MBA program to help you achieve your future professional goals? You might consider short-term, long-term goals, past experiences, so on and so forth. Now, two things that you need to remember. Number one, these updates to the application processes are first and foremost changed on the school's website itself. So that is your primary source of research. So please go there and continue to look for information on a periodic basis. Number two, now you know what are some of the questions that are asked in the essays so that you can prepare for these questions right from the beginning. Okay, majority of these application deadlines are in September, October. So knowing what these questions could be right now will help guide your research process throughout the next few months. Okay, now, so the first thing that we talked about is the school website itself. The second thing that we'll talk about is the students, right? The current students, the alums, whoever it is from the school itself, right? Now, a lot of people, what do? They believe that, hey, some of these students might not have a good perspective because probably they just joined 3 months back. So I don't talk to them, right? That's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, people believe that, hey, I'll have to talk to a lot of students, right? We are not doing any PhDs, or we are not going to write a white paper about a school, right? All we are doing is to understand whether your career aspirations, the positive revenue side, whether that is possible through this particular school. Are you a good fit for the school, and is the school a good fit for you, right? So the specific questions that you should ask the current students, limit your research to 2 to 3 people, but the questions that you need to ask these people are, one, hey, what are the chances of me, or what are the chances that Indian students go into product management, right? You are not asking generic questions like, hey, how many people go into product management from the school? That information is already available on the placements report, right? You are talking specifically about Indian students. You are saying that, hey, how many Indian students actually get into product management? How many Indian students specifically go into finance, right? You need that specificity from these guys, right? The second questions that you can ask is, hey, now that I want to target product management and it is possible to get through this school, what are the ways in which I can leverage the school? You remember what's happening here? We are trying to get the information, exact information, which we are going to use it in the essays itself. Okay. The student might say that, hey, we go on some business treks in the Silicon Valley area, and that might be a very good piece of like networking and building relationships with the folks from product management teams, right? So you can speak about that in your essays. Number two, they say that, hey, yes, a lot of Indians actually go into product management. That gives you a lot of confidence, right? And there are a lot of product management clubs. There are a lot of interview preparation groups that are formed within the product management space. So you can talk about these things on your essays, and you can mention about that specific student name on your essay, so that it doesn't look like, hey, you just randomly applied to that school. It looks like you have done your research and only then you are applying to this school. Right? You again don't need to do this with 10 students, 15 students. Doing with 3 students, 2 students even, that's good enough, right? Because the information after a particular point in time will get repetitive. Now you also need to ask about your career plan B, right? If plan A doesn't work out, what are the chances that plan B happens for Indian students, right? These are the kind of questions that you should be asking students. Now, there is one more interesting thing in this entire aspect of research, that is alums, right? Do you know any specific alums? If not, again, as I mentioned, the deadlines are in September and October. So if you plan out 6 months before that, right, round 1, round 2 deadlines, and build that relationship, working relationship with alums of your target college, then in case you don't get an direct admit, but if you get a wait list, these alums can write a letter of support. I'm not talking about letter of recommendation, guys. Letter of recommendation is given by your managers, and essays you have to write them. Nobody is going to write for you. I'm talking about letter of support, which you require only if you get a wait list. Okay, in that scenario, the letter of support would be of huge value add for your entire profile. Okay, so see if you can actually start building that relationships with some alums, right? Some well noted, like some well recognized and popular alums from that school, or even any alum in that school that you have a good working relationship with. Okay, so that's number 2, source number 2. The source number 3 is actually very interesting, and these are the folks who are actually sitting in admissions committee, Adcom officers, correct? These Adcom officers, they come to different events. They host different webinars, right? If they are hosting an event in Delhi, and if you are sitting in Bombay, please go to that event, okay? And if they are hosting an event in Chennai, please go to that event. And again, there might be 1,000 students who might be attending that event, and you might get lost. Absolutely fine. But after that email, please do send a thank you note, okay? And if you meet them again in some another event, please recall and please recollect and mention to them that, hey, yes, we have already met here. I'm very excited to come to this school, and that's the reason why I'm coming again for another event. Okay, so that increases the relationship quotient between you and the Adcom officer. It's now the second or third interaction. After that, once again, send a thank you note. And when you talk to these alums, then send a note saying that, hey, I talked to these 3-4 alums. This is the inputs that I received from them. Super helpful. And now I'm planning to admit to my round 1 or round 2. Then next step, you apply and then send them a note of, hey, thanks for the help in all the entire process. By the way, I've already applied and looking forward to the result. Now, this might not change your application outcome, but still these guys are sitting on the table when applications are being evaluated. So if there is a slight possibility of them influencing the decision, it will be a huge advantage. Yes, it's an unfair advantage, but it will be helpful for you in getting that final admit. So that is number 3. Okay, we talked about number 1, using the school website to understand what information you get from students. You get to the students and then you understand, hey, what are the different career paths that Indian students take and what are the supporting mechanisms that will help Indian students to get into these career paths. Number 3, finally, you can also start building relationships with admissions committee members. And in this entire process, alums can be of great help, even if they are not directly influencing your entire application journey. If there is a wait list, they will then come into the picture and support you with a letter of support. Okay, now these are the 3 things, but let me tell you like one honest feedback that, hey, please don't overdo this. Okay, talking with 2 students, 3 students is more than enough. You need to have a basic idea about what a specific school offers versus not to, right? And on top of that, you go and have these personal conversations with a lot of different folks. You can't read the website and directly go and ask a student some basic information that's already there on the website. The student will say that, hey, this information is already there. Why are you asking me? So please don't get into that awkward situations. Okay, do your basic research, whatever means it is, and then only go and have these conversations. I hope this is helpful, guys. If this is helpful, please press the like button and I will come back to you with more and more similar such videos. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and see you again tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.